fallacies of the faith.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Theistic Pearls of Wisdom, a series where I pick posts and comments from religious discussion groups on Facebook and comment on them from an atheistic, naturalistic, and obviously my own personal perspective. The pearl of today reads, if you had a personal subjective experience with a divine being, would you believe? Or would you still require objective proof? This is a weird hypothetical to begin with because it never happens. There are no encounters with the divine that can actually be shown beyond reasonable doubt that they are what those who have experienced them claim they are. That means I do not doubt the experience itself. What I doubt are the conclusions made based on that experience. But the problem starts much earlier because what is a divine being? What is a reliable and valid definition of that, and how would I determine that whatever I experienced does actually fulfill these criteria? Another problem I would have to point to immediately is that any sufficiently advanced technology is, to the one ignorant about it, indistinguishable from magic. So, how would I be able to distinguish between a being that is a member of a far advanced species of alien and a divine being? The poster must assume that they actually would be able to make such a distinction. But that assumes that there actually is something real that causes this experience. What about the possibility that my mind, my brain, suffers a malfunction? That I see something that my brain interprets in a certain way, but that actually is something completely different. Our senses and our brain simply are limited to interpret what we experience based on what we know, and that can lead to problems if we encounter something that we have no reference frame for, and I would dare to claim that the divine is something nobody really has a reference frame for. So the first question is, would I believe based on a personal experience that I interpret as an encounter with the divine or a divine being? I have to say I don't know. I hope not, because it would mean that I have somehow lost my skeptical attitude and accept something as a given that I would never accept if someone told me the same. But as has been stated by others, and I have myself repeated many times, any God that is worth the label would know what it takes to convince me and would absolutely be capable of providing it. So this divine being should know that simply revealing itself to me would under normal circumstances be absolutely insufficient to convince me. It would have to do a lot more than just appear to me and do some magic tricks. What it would have to do? I don't know, just as I do not have a sufficient definition of what could be considered a divine being. So, in the end, I would have to respond to the question as it is phrased with a clear no, because, again, a divine being revealing itself to me is insufficient to assume that such an encounter is real. For the second part of the question, if, on the other hand, it actually would be possible to verify my experience, even though I'm not certain because of the vagueness of the term divine being that this is even possible, but if this experience could be verified because others have the same experience, it would mean that this is sufficient to accept that the experience itself is real, as in, I was not fooled by my brain, and I did not fool myself or deceive myself. It would take that hurdle, but would that alone justify the assumption that the experience was divine? Sorry, no. This again would necessitate jumping to conclusions as to what this being that we as a group seemingly have encountered actually is, and that we can be sufficiently certain that we have an understanding what divine means, and that we are not just encountering either a deception or some advanced alien being. So whatever this hypothetical, which kind of strikes me as a gotcha question to demonstrate that atheists are so skeptical they could not even be convinced by God itself appearing to them, wanted to achieve. It failed because it is vaguely worded and leaves too much open to interpretation. It is based on the presupposition that we cannot only recognize the divine and distinguish it from deception, but that divine beings actually exist. And I just simply do not share that presupposition. That is all I wanted to say about this particular Pearl of Wisdom. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you will join me again the next time on this channel. Enjoy this life. It's the only chance we get, as far as we can tell. See you soon. Bye bye.
I heard it all before. Is that all you have in store? Is there really nothing more than just fallacies and faith?